Hello, everyone. Welcome to Confident Parenting webinar. And just before we get started, I hope you can hear me well. You can see me well, just to get the things out before I share some stuff. Can you just type if you can type yes, if you can hear me, you can see me. Thank you, Atul. Thank you, Shanti. Thank you, Maitri. So let's begin. And welcome and thank you for taking this time out for being here with me. And I'm a parenting coach, an elite performance coach, and I've worked with a lot of tweens and teenagers in the last 10, 12 years. And before that, I used to sail on a ship for 20 plus years as a captain. And I have, learned a lot of mentoring practices from my sailing career. And in the last 12 years, since 2022, 12, a lot of parenting related work that I have done, a lot of work with children. And I'll be sharing more about those stories later. But for now, I want to continue. I'm also author of the book, Three Culprits: Laziness, Fear, and Doubt, which talks about how you can battle this for yourself and for your children and how to overcome them. And I'm also an Ed Falcon Global Award top 10 for mentoring. And my main focus all these years has been more on one-to-one mentoring, more of offline mentoring. And now I want to bring the same thing, whatever I've learned, these 12 years of knowledge, to y'all, as best as I can. Today, I will be sharing a few things. So let me just start the sharing. So I had the opportunity to learn a lot from Robin Sharma, who's a very esteemed author, renowned mentor and coach. So I will be bringing all these learnings through my programs. And today's main focus is on parenting. So what is the goal for today's webinar? It is to understand the three uncomfortable truths of parenting, because only then can we free ourselves and start becoming a more confident and positive parent for our children. Okay, so this is one of the things that I will be talking about. The second thing is I'll be sharing one framework to help you become more stress free. Okay, just one sutra, one magic wand, one way of how you could do that. And third thing is how to build healthy and confident children. And some Q&As if you have. You can also raise your hand if you like to speak, or you can post it in the chat box and I can answer your question. So whichever way, make the best of these next hour and a half. Ask your questions. If you have anything specific, then do ask away. And before we get going, I just want to know what is the ages of your children. If you're a parent or maybe you're an aspiring parent coach, then it's not, not a question. But if you're a parent, then what is the age of your child? I mean, boy, girl, and age of the child. Son, daughter, and age of the child. If you could put it in the chat box. Pavitra, 12 years. Santu is 8 years. Shanti, 10 years, boy. Santu is also boy, okay. And Atul, okay, teenager, 15 years. So it's good to know, because then I can share things about stories and things which can help you as a parent. Janicia is 18 years boy and 16 years girl. Thank you for sharing them. And one of the things that I have to share a story. There was this girl who had approached me. She was part of my mentoring program. She was around 13 years at that time. And for previous 2, 3 years, she had stopped reading her book, reading anything. She had kind of distanced herself from anything reading. She was averse to school. She didn't like anything, and her parents were a little worried, and they brought me in to help her and them. And over a period of 2, 3 months, had to work with her, and because there was a lot of you can say mistreatment either from the schooling side, and her confidence had lowered so much that she stopped reading anything, no novels at all. And after I put her through the program of mentoring, guiding her, helping her parents understand and make sense of some things that they could do themselves, because today we can't just depend on the education system or schools and teachers just to meet us. Some maybe are good and will help your child, but many times you have the real control to change things for your child. You are the real mentor, you're the real coach for your child. The child looks up to you, and you have been given this amazing power. And all you need to know is just to learn how to do it well and what to do and what not to do. And once you do this, you can build a massive amount of confidence for your child. And after all, what every one of us wants our child to do well in life. Every parent's aspiration, they do well in life, they're successful, they are balanced, healthy. We want them, even if we don't want them to do anything back for us, unlike previous generations, we at least don't want them to become a liability for us, where they're not even able to take care of themselves. So do you agree with that? That even if they don't do anything for us, it's okay, we will take care, but we want them to not become a liability. We don't want them to keep depending on us for the rest of their lives. Do you agree with that? You can type yes if you agree. Thanks, Atul. Yes, for Soumya. Yeah. So many times we do that. Okay. So the intent of this webinar, apart from sharing with you some wisdom, is also to invite you for a 2-day parenting workshop. Some of you are already aware of it and have signed up, but this 2-day workshop is on the 9th and 10th of December 2023. It's 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's an intense workshop which will give you a lot of clarity. Today, I'm just going to be sharing a few things. It's not possible to share 12 years of practical wisdom, you know, crushed into 2 hours. And even this 2 days, I'm not saying is going to get all that, but even if 80% you can pick up on whatever practical best practices I'm going to share on parenting, whatever best ways that you can handle your day-to-day challenges, gadget challenge. Today that's such a big issue for all parents, discipline challenge. People are procrastinating, they are bored, they are not interested in anything, ambitions are weak, or they're not driven enough. So all these challenges parents are facing, so what can they do? And that's what I will be covering in this 2-day parenting workshop. And also to let go of certain patterns yourself, which probably without even your knowing could be harming the child. Right? It's not like you intended, no parent intends to be the bad parent, but sometimes we do end up doing things which impact the child, say 5, 10 years, 20 years down the line. There's the saying that, every issue that most people have is coming as a root from our childhood, because that is the impact those episodes and those moments, either with parents or near and dear ones or at school, create such strong impact that we carry them many times throughout our life. So if we can do good parenting, positive parenting, confident parenting in the early years of the child, then that much less baggage they have, so that they can focus more on becoming these legends, going and achieving whatever is their highest potential. Whether they want to be a cricketer or a musician or a businessman, entrepreneur, does not matter. Can they go and deliver their best? Can they go and become masters of their craft? Okay, so that's the 2-day workshop. I will be sharing more about it. But I want you to know that that's the potential that all human beings hold. It's up to us as parents and mentors and coaches to see how much we can get them there and how to do it. That's what this whole thing is about. Okay. So before we continue, can you share what challenges do you spot or observe in children and young adults of today? In and around your house. Forget your children for the moment. Just around your neighborhood, your close family, maybe somewhere else you've seen. What kind of challenges do you see in children and young adults today? If you could put that in the chat box. Gadgets, mobile is the biggest one. Addiction to mobile, absolutely. Gadgets and mobile, video gaming, absolutely. Disobedience, disinterest and wavering interest, absolutely. And discipline, not able to complete tasks, not able to complete things what they start. You're spot on. You're spot on, because that is a serious issue today. Because if we don't correct that, or we don't help children build that discipline, build that stable legs, of their character and personality, it's going to affect everything else in life. When they are in relationship, it's going to affect. When they are working in some career, it's going to affect their promotion. And then when we start mentoring and coaching them, we realize, hey, this problem is coming right at the root. It's coming from their schooling years. It's coming from their teen years. And then I start working on them. And that's how this program evolved. That if we could do the right thing in early years, then I wouldn't have to do those mentoring programs and others in their as older adults, because they are that much more resilient when they are out of their childhood. No focus on studies, absolutely, Genesia. No focus on studies is also an issue, right? So brilliant, all on spot on to the challenges. There are more, but at least it's a start. These are some things that commonly share. I think most of you have already shared that in some way or the other. Gadget addiction, poor sleep, poor focus, poor drive. I think somebody mentioned, no interest, entitlement, lack of drive, energy. Have you seen there is even no wonder? There's that wonder and awe, they call it. There's no wonder. To share you this story, there was this couple who had taken their young boy, and he was about 7 years or 8 years. And they were going through one of the forest, national parks. And they were all excited to spot this tiger a little, at a distance. It was looking, they could just make out that little tiger. And they were telling this boy, hey, look, there's a tiger. And they were all excited, taking out their binoculars. Both mother and father were super excited. And when they told this boy, look, and he was like, it's okay, I've seen it closer in National Geographic or in other YouTubes and things like that. So that is how we have become, in a way, disinterested. Our wonder is lost. That spark of having that zest or that energy for life is weak or lost. And that's going to impact everything else. That's how they're going to be in every work or anything that they pursue in life. So it's very important that we bring back this wonder and awe. Okay. There are many things which unknowingly we may have done it, and the wonder and joy, we have switched off that button. So we have to reignite that. Similarly, discipline, disrespect, poor confidence, and then we are not helping them becoming a legend. When I say legend, helping them reach their full potential of talent, gifts, whatever gifts they have come into this planet. All of us have some gifts. Are they living up to becoming a legend, in their own unique way? So these are the issues which we can prevent to some extent. Some things I will be sharing today, what you could do at home and what you can take control of for yourself. And anytime you have any question, please drop in at any time. Okay. So what is the expectation from an education system like a school, college? What do you expect from them that they should do this for your child, right? Can you share some thoughts in the chat box? What is your expectations from a school, from a college, from the education system? Because a good one third of a child's or childhood is spent in a school system. Okay, helping them acquire life skills, enabling social behavior, and provide an ecosystem to learn new things every day. Fantastic. Helping them with practical skills that is needed for life, building leadership skills. Superb. No education can make them job or entrepreneur ready. Fantastic. Yeah. Relationship, they don't know how to handle friendships and relationships. In fact, one of the mentorings I'm doing, and she's a teenage girl. She's part of my one-to-one mentoring program. And I was teaching her on how to learn and how to study simple things. And she was amazed. She goes to this very good international school. So the teachers are still focused on curriculum and other things like that. Nobody is telling them, how should I even learn this subject? How should I even study this? What should I do with this? So much of content there. So she was amazed. I wish people teach how to study like this. So it makes life so much more easier. So I gave her some universal mantras that they could do to study anything. Does not matter, school, college, degree, whatever. If you learn these simple tricks, you'll be able to study. So I will be again covering all those in details in the 2-day workshop. Today it's not possible. Um, yeah, super. So I've made some points based on what people like you have been sharing. Prepare for life, work, relationship difficulties, learning to learn. I think somebody mentioned learning to learn and adapt, adapting to things. Today there is AI. We are still, our education is still on focused on information. We haven't adapted to know how to build our creativity, how to build our, the practical wisdom, adaptability, and things like that. So that's what we need to focus. And of course, life skills on handling, maybe first aid, maybe fighting a fire, maybe doing something simple, how to handle those kind of practical life skills, how to tie a knot, a good knot if you want to pull a car out of a ditch, right? These are life skills, confidence, practical life wisdom to prepare for life, to work, relationship, and purpose. Yeah. But what is the reality? Today's system is adding high stress for parent and child. Exams, next day exams, finished one exam, one more exam is waiting. They're hardly getting time to even breathe out, exam after exam. And all for what? Nobody really cares, honestly. After their 10th, where they did their 10th, maybe for 1 or 2 years they might ask, but afterwards, how many times has anyone asked us how much we have scored in our 10th or 12th? The only thing you need 10th is to go to 11th or 12th. So I remember when I was a teenager, I had this thing with my parents. I told them, don't worry, I will go to the next class. While I spent the time learning other skill sets. Of course, back then I didn't know all this. I just learned it by my own, volition and learning. But what I'm trying to tell is education system adds stress. Okay. The second thing, what is a challenge is it's very sterile. It's very dull and boring. Nobody remembers after the exam. It's not so interesting. Probably they will remember something else more interesting because not too sterile, too boring types, right? It's very compartmentalized. Geography is geography. You can't have anything else. But in reality, everything is interconnected. So if you're teaching children not just geography, but you're teaching something, let's say, on grains, wheat or rice or paddy, and you talk not just where it is grown, but how much can you grow in an acre of land, and you're bringing maths there, you're bringing geography, you're bringing history, culture, tradition, the studies become richer. But unfortunately, as of today, it's still compartmentalized. No life skills are taught, no learning skills are taught, no unprepared for work, relationship, how to handle relationships, finance. So this is the reality. No, we can't fight the system because that's where the children have to go. But what you still have in control, what you can still take in control is your parenting. That's still under your control. You haven't outsourced it. It's still yours. So that is where you can still make a change. That's what I believe, and that's what I have seen parents who I mentor take charge. I said, see, we can't change school. Okay, maybe there will be those odd good teacher, odd good schools. You're lucky if you get them. But for most people, it's not going to be the case. So then what? Do we just give up? No, we take hold of the parenting, the other one third of the time where they are under your shelter, under your guidance and mentoring. Then the weekends, they are with you, holidays, they are with you. So all those are great moments for you to really do what the education system cannot. You can send them for a few courses here and there, some workshop, but really the true mentor is you as the parent. Because what you can do in one day, outsiders can do probably in 10 days or something. Okay. So that's the power. What I'm trying to do is empower you, the parent itself. The final real interest of a child is you, the parent. Okay. So I'm a parent as well. So I can connect with that. Being a teenager parent, I know that these what issues, and I've as a parent also I can have that empathy what you'll be practically facing in life. So what is your desire for your child? If you had to have one desire, I wish my child was like this or becomes like this in the future. Okay. If you can share that, what do you want? What is your desire for your child? If you had, somebody come and give you a wish and granted, what would you ask for your child? You can share in the chat box. What do you seek for your child? What do you want for your child? Build a better bond and relationship, build a better bond and connection. Fantastic. Realize himself to his full potential and have a humane approach to whatever he does. Superb, superb. Help find his purpose and follow through on that. Fantastic. To be independent and work for oneself. Fantastic answer. And to have the empathy and better relationship. Superb. Fantastic answers. And all that is fantastic because unless we know what we want, we don't know how to get them or how to enable them for our children. And coincidentally, if you observe, none of this is developed by the education system. And so the real power, the one third power that you have, at least because that's the time they spend, you can really use it to build that kind of child or adult that you're aspiring for. I have a very interesting question. For some reason, if you had to outsource your parenting, maybe you're going to another planet and you're coming back after a few years, just as a joke, and you had to outsource your child. You have to hand over to somebody, right? Just like we employ people in a company. Maybe you're employing a cook, maybe you're employing a driver, house help, or anywhere else in your team. You're getting a new person to your team. We have expectations. We have some job description, some things. So if you had to outsource for a while, for the next few years, whatever your child's age, up to 24, minus it, and then say, okay, this many years I need to outsource my parenting because I'm not going to be here for a while. What would your expectations be from the guardian or the parent? What would you expect this new parent for your child do for your child in your place? You can share that in the chat box. To be loving and kind. Thank you. It's a good one. To help them become confident. Yeah, that's a good one. Be independent and work for oneself, to understand the other person and abide by their ways. Okay. I'm guessing you're talking with regard to discipline. I'm understanding. Yeah. To be able to, teach them how to handle finances and relationship. Yes. To know how to take decisions for their career and life partner and general. Yeah. I really don't know. Can't think of it. I want my child to grow with me to become what he wants to be, as he will see us daily and we will grow together. Fantastic. All answers. There is no right or wrong. It's what you expect. Okay. These are some things that I've generally heard people say, build stronger bond, love, respect, connections, basic needs, of course, health, happiness, education, and to make them independent, strong, capable, confident, and prepare them for life, work, relationship, and success. So these are the things that we expect of parenting itself. Whoever may be the parent today, we have been given this opportunity to parent someone, right? And we've got that opportunity. And how much are we prepared is the question. Reality is, for each of you don't have to type any answer, but each of you to know where you are and how prepared are you to help them to get to that point, because we spend so much on so many different things, but unfortunately, I have not seen good parenting workshops, or I have not seen people where they are creating that kind of. There is a lot of good content in for young children, just under 5. There's a lot of things on nursing, care for them, what kind of food they should eat. But as we grow up, we kind of wing it, just like Tukka Maro types, something maybe hopefully we will get lucky and just somehow our children will turn out to be good. But unfortunately, maybe few decades back it could have worked, I don't know, but today it's a different world. There are so many forces out there trying to break our focus, trying to get our attention. It could be media, it could be media, especially, different kind of entities, businesses, everything kind of distracting. Addictions, different forms of addictions are there today. All of that adds an extra level of challenge for the child and for the parent. Okay. And if you are not built that foundation, then when these challenges come, we will break. We will not be able to handle that. So it's very important we build such a strong foundation that they can say no to the wrong things and say yes to the right things. That's the one of the best things you can teach your child. Giving them that kind of confidence, giving them that courage to say no. So, not preparing ourselves for parenting can cause high levels of stress. I've seen parents who are really so stressed out sometimes, and I can help that many people only, that okay, you know what, do this, do that. And but what I realized is if I can give them all in one 2-day workshop, it's so much more easier. They can give that dedicated time, and for the next few years, it will answer your questions. You know exactly what you need to do for different kinds of situations, what you need to do for different ages. Your child could be at different age groups. They could be young children, tweens, teens, whatever. And what you should do, how should you parent? Parenting is not a universal flat style. It changes. And to know which gear, it's like driving a car. If you drive a car or if you're a bike or anything, it's like you know which gear you should go when, right? You got a bump, then you'll change your gear one or two, or if you're going highway, you'll go four. So it's like a literally like driving a car. You have to change your gear, and how to change the gear, which gear should you go for when, is part of the parenting education or empowerment. Okay, gadget addiction, poor sleep focus. We spoke about that. A child's potential limited. Therapy, stress, and cost. You will not believe the amount of time and stress and money people end up spending, what could have been easily avoided had they done simple things early on. I've had parents who didn't take the advice, who said, no, it's okay, I will do later, I will, something else. They said, no time to do this, no time to do that, or it's expensive, this and that. And after 2 years coming back, completely, the child is worse off now. That much extra work we have to do. Stress for everybody. The child stress, unbelievable stress, right? I mean, the lost years are unbelievable. So, by knowing what to do, you can prevent so much of heartache and headache, both for your child and yourself. And not only that's the thing, plus building them to go full on, become the best versions they can be in this lifetime. Preparing them for that and not making them a liability. They are an asset. We don't want probably anything from them, but we want them to be an asset to the world. They are an asset to this world. That's why children come into this planet, because they are the future, right? That's why you bring them. There is a certain joy in parenting. For whatever difficulties it brings, there's also a joy, right? So they're an asset. So our thing is to make sure children don't become weak, unstable, irritable, want things easy, entitled, lack discipline. So if we can help them with this, then they are that much more better off. Tomorrow, what every parent wishes that even when we are not here, our children can take care of themselves. They are confident. You know what? They are good to go. They will take care of their decisions, health, whatever problems in relationship. They know how to manage, how to take care of their careers and take those tough decisions in life. And that's what we want to build children for, right? So they are the future. And before I get into something else, one of the things we need to understand why things are the way it is everything around us today, if you observe, is about faster and faster and faster. You know, this person is learning this thing faster, so I will learn more faster, or this school is doing this faster and that is doing more faster. It's like this is the rat race, which whether we call it or not, we become part of this. And how did this start? If we realize that there was a schools which used to teach alphabets not before 6 7 years, and that is what has been found to be enough for people to start studying. Okay, and this I have seen with schools that I've worked closely with. I've been fortunate enough to meet some fantastic mentors using a lot of spiritual philosophies. And they found that a child who learned ABCD and all the alphabet at 6 years, learned it in 3 months, was a somebody who started learning alphabets and words at 3 years. Okay. So the child, let's say, example, went to school, started learning alphabets at 3 years, spends the next 3 years learning alphabets and words. Another child comes, doesn't do all that, comes directly at 6 years to school, picks it up in 3 months to the same level. Why is that? Because they are more mature and they are more ready for receiving, right? And this child has spent fantastic 3 years building their willpower, building their confidence, enjoying a childhood, which today, most of the times, children don't have. They have everything in life except a childhood. Do you agree? They have everything. They have all things. Parents can afford everything today. They can get them at a finger snap, order anything on Amazon, replace anything. But what they miss is a good childhood. You know, and that's what we need to make sure first, that we build a good childhood, because all of us, our best memories usually are from childhood. And if we snatch that away, fill it with this faster, 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 then we have taken away the childhood. You know, so coming back to this faster, we have to understand, how did this whole rat race begin? In the early years, independent years and after, or even much later after that, if a person joined the government service little earlier than someone else, they joined, say, at 17 years, and somebody joined at 17 and a half years, at 6 months, made a difference whether you became a chief secretary in the government or you retired as some deputy or assistant secretary or something like that, assistant commissioner or something, or you became a commissioner or something. So that was the difference. So it mattered a lot when you applied for a government job, that every month, every day mattered, who was senior, who was junior, which decided whether you would retire before or late. But for most people, it's not necessary they're picking up government jobs today, right? Maybe they are, but most people, it isn't an option. They're looking at other avenues. So it doesn't matter now whether you finish your 10th at 15 years or 16 years, or 12th at 18 years or 19 years, because what you're preparing them is for life. Okay. So first is to break free why we are pushing our children like that. Okay. To become aware of how the pressure we are creating without even aware that we are creating this pressure, because we are part of the system. We are not even sure why people are running. Let's also run. That's how it has become. So become aware that it doesn't matter. Today, people are taking gap years, people are taking some time. Of course, it should be well thought out. I'm not saying just for its sake, but you can really see that, am I running faster because everybody is running, or am I running faster because I want to run faster? They are two different things. So I wanted to lay this groundwork, because the things that I'm going to share will have certain seeds from here. And before I continue, I would also like to take your permission to share a little bit about myself, so you understand where I'm coming from, why I'm talking about certain things, and all this. I hope that's okay with you. Please do share your thoughts. So this story is about me, and as a middle class, growing up in a middle class family with a dad who was a medical practitioner, a doctor, and I wanted this desire to join the Navy. And back then, nobody had a clue what to join or how to join, but I was very adamant that I joined the Navy. And this was when I was 14 years old. Nobody had a clue on back then. And so I would tell my parents, you know what, just trust me and allow me to follow this path. And they were very reluctant. There are a lot of people who would say, I don't think he's doing a foolish thing. He should do his engineering or he should do his medical, because that was the trend back then. And I was quite adamant. And luckily for me, my parents just nudged me. They said, okay, you take responsibility. We're not sure what this is. We don't understand, but I hope you're doing it right. So that kind of confidence helped me take up a career which was unknown in my family circle. Nobody back then, at least in my family and friend circle, nobody knew what it was. School teachers didn't know what it was. So it was a sheer move which I was scared to because nobody was supporting as such. So I also joined the same rat race, sailed for 20 years plus, and I didn't know any better. You know, I had a lot of mentoring things which I would do for cadets, but I didn't know much on education. And that's when I met this fantastic lady who was in her 70s back then. And she told me these nuggets of wisdom on education. She was running this kindergarten school, and I was looking for my own son. And that insights gave me the clarity that we were stuck in this rat race. There was no need for that. Children could play in the mud, climb trees when they're little ones, build their will strength, build their confidence, and they would all catch up to everyone else. And that's what happened. And I have that practical, you know, experience of seeing all these children, mentoring some of them myself and seeing them grow up into these very strong, confident children, and also mentoring so many others children also in this journey. So this is how it started for me. I started off just like most people, thinking that there is no other way of educating, just like everybody else, I must to educate. But I realized there was another beautiful way in which we could mentor children and educate them. And that's what I would like to share. And that's why I wanted to bring this seed as my story. So with that faster story that I shared and my own story, I want to talk about this two mango trees, two mango trees, and a gardener who takes care of both of them lovingly. And one of them, when the fruits are still not ripe, he plucks them. And since he can't wait, he puts artificially he ripens them, using chemicals and ripening them up. And another tree, he leaves it till it ripens on the tree, right? So if A tree was artificially ripened and B was ripened or the tree naturally ripened, which tree, it's an obvious answer, but still, which tree do you think would be sweeter? Which fruits would be sweeter? A or B? If you can type that in the chat box. B, B, naturally ripened, B, B, B. Thank you. You already got it. It's so obvious, right, for all of us that anything which is naturally ripened will be sweeter. Anything which is artificially ripened will not have the same sweetness. So this is what parenting and education is about. If we can remember this mango tree story, that if we allow the child to naturally mature into each phase. I'll be talking about these phases in a little while. There are different phases in children's life. If we can naturally allow them to mature and go into the next phase, mature and go into the next phase, mature and go into the next phase, you will find it is so much sweeter for them and for you as a parent. The whole journey becomes that much more fantastic. You start enjoying the parenting, and you'll start seeing there's so much less stress, not zero stress, very, very less stress. Okay. So this is the background of parenting, to allow it to, the child is like the fruit, allow them to naturally ripen and then break free. So I use this knowledge, the wisdom that I had gained, over the years, and I started my own organization called Skills Beyond Education in 2016. And I do a lot of programs like stargazing, woodworking. And the goal was to build them these outdoor skills, but more importantly, to build creativity and imagination. Stargazing was a fantastic program. It is pretty popular in Bangalore when I conduct it. And there is this woodworking, which I do sometimes now, where they would do simple things, building chair, building table, a keychain, and it would build their will strength. That's what I observed. And that's why I would push for these kind. And I will teach you simple things you can do in the 2-day workshop to help your children build amazing willpower. And you can also build your willpower. And as an adult too, maybe a little lesser than your children, but you will build good willpower as well, because a child can absorb so much more. Similarly, I had run this homeschool. I was one of the co-founders with others, where we had few children whom we were homeschooling, about 12 kids, and we would build a barn like kutir, right? And for studies, and we would play music there, and a lot of stories every year. Children would do a lot of cleaning of the garden, and the classrooms. They would sweep, broom, and sometimes they would get upset if somebody left a footprint, saying that who walked in here types, because they realized what effort meant, what it was to do that. So that is the kind of education, if we can give to children, they will stay so much grounded. When some elder comes, they will go and take a bag from them, go help them out, give a chair for someone else. So this is the kind of also things that we need to build in children. You might say, how does it help in real life? I've seen people like that grow that much faster in life, becoming CEOs, because that is the skill set that differentiates us. The IQ, we all know, is only that much, can take you only so far, but EQ will really skyrocket your success. And of course, then there was another program that I had, which was where we did an apprentice program for 13 to 16, 17-year-olds, and where we had a project-based learning, published a book. So we had to go in the streets. It was called Call of the Blue on water. And so the children learned a lot of practical things. We had a book launch, like a proper professional book launch, a lot of guests and speakers we had invited, and the children had done a lot of work. Today it's becoming more common, but this was a couple of years pre-COVID when I would do all these things. And post-COVID, my journey has been more in the online, helping teenage 15-year-old pluses in the one-to-one mentoring, parents, and also you can say a lot of parents, mentoring the parents and workshops and things like that. So journey has changed a little bit, but the mission is more or less on the same, to help parents and help children become legends and legend makers for the parents. So my mission is also to help make 1,000 legends, could be Nobel laureates, experimentalists, innovators, elite athletes, mentors, coaches, business leaders, community leaders, artists, chefs, authors. Because one of the things I realized is if we need to build discipline, confidence, and clarity, if we can give this 3 powerful tools to children, and on top of that, we can keep loading them with knowledge and information and all that, they will take it to the sky, because we have to build the foundation. That's what we can do, right? It's like a booster rocket. Parents are like booster rocket. They are not with the child to go to another planet, but they are there to go up to get them out of the atmosphere, give them that boost, and then the children are set for life. So that's what our goal is. Can we be that booster rocket? So my background of all this knowledge has come through various mentors I've come across in my life, both on schooling, education, tribal, people who taught me a lot about what education can be from their perspective, working with them, anthroposophy, which is a spiritual philosophy on education, homeschooling, my own experience, apprentice program, mentoring program, offline programs, like I mentioned, stargazing, and my journey itself as a parent. So this is the root of which I'm sharing with you all this 12 years of knowledge in the parenting and the education space. And hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're finding some value. Before we continue, I just want to know, get some feedback, how you're liking this, what you're, if you're enjoying this, if you're getting some value. Thank you. Thank you, Shanti. Thank you, Atul. Thank you, Maitri. Super. I'm going to play this. Um, If you don't hear the voice or something,
I'm Amma,
later.
and I am a working mom. I have two kids. My elder one is 5 years old. She's a daughter, she's a girl, and I have a younger son who is 1 year old. I actually came to Captain Preetham for my coaching in different aspects, in parenting, understanding my passions, and for better performance in work and in life as usual. But parenting was one big game changer for me with Captain. I, s- I understood that the kind of parenting which I am doing is maybe it is quite competitive kind for my daughter. But then I realized it's very important to give children that slow parenting and become like a firm parent, which is actually what they want, and builds them for actually 20 years. I didn't realize that. I was just running a race and comparing my kid with other kids. But the tips and suggestions and which I got from Captain was was is actually phenomenal. I saw the changes. I applied it on my child. I saw that she is responding much better. I have more connects with her. Our bond is getting better each day. She's listening to me. Earlier, there were lots of tantrums, which has reduced drastically. And I think this is just the beginning. And I am set to build a better and a very strong bond with my kids. And I'm looking forward to it, and I'm enjoying this parenting journey. That's from a parent who was like very anxious and worried about what to do, and parenting was like a burden to me. Now I'm enjoying this parenting journey. I look forward to more. Thank you, Captain. I wouldn't have done this much without your help and support. I'm Amma, and
Now, Abba was someone who came to me for a mentoring program, and I realized that whatever we had thought of mentoring was okay. She was still able to do something, but she was constantly stressed about parenting. Then I realized, Abba, you need to first work on your parenting, and we started working on that. Her child was throwing tantrums for playing. She was a young child, and tantrums for playing and not eating well. I said, do this one step at a time, one thing at a time. Keep doing this. Every week we would do something, and she started changing. She started eating those vegetables and started, less tantrums were there because she was not setting her boundaries well and things like that. So what I wanted to share was when we start doing, getting to know how to handle these kind of challenges, how to parent better, it reduces our stress. And even the child is less stressed out because they are getting their needs met, right? It's like the mango tree I'm telling, when the mango is ripe, they it's also they are also feeling that purpose is fulfilled, fruit is mature enough. So we will continue with the next one, which is the three uncomfortable truths. And once we understand them, we can see that how much of it we need to let go as well. The first one is what I call the neurotic or fear based parenting. So if you observe that most of us would be doing this to some or large extent, that means, for small children, it could be, hey, don't climb the tree, don't climb this wall, don't, you'll fall down. You can it can happen to anything. To older children could be like about going out, sleepovers, could be about staying out, or it could be about something else, whatever it is. So many times our own fears come in the way. And I got a question. What there are these are smaller children. Can it be changed in teenagers? Yes, it is a little more work. when you're a teenager. It's like I always give the analogy of a gardener. When they're younger saplings, they're easier. When it becomes older, as teenagers, 15 plus, it's little more challenging. But nothing is impossible. That much I can give you guarantee. It will take a little more time. If they take 1 month, probably you'll take 3 to 6 months to change it. That's about it. But it will happen, James. Yeah, that much I can tell you. And coming back to neurotic fear-based parenting is observe yourself. When I was sharing this with one of the groups, they were talking about how that this mother was talking about how her mother used to tell her not to climb trees, not to climb here and there, she'll fall and break. And she has been doing the same thing once I brought this out in the open, right? So many times I have done this myself because I sometimes have to come back and pull myself out and realize, oh, I'm doing this sort of fear based. I would tell, okay, my son, don't do this because I'm scared somewhere that it had happened some experience to me. Okay. So what happens? I am feeding that fear, feeding that kind of messaging, and they grow up into little mini me's and not being their own free selves, what they could have grown. Okay. They are also growing up with this kind of shackles or the chains around their legs. So becoming aware of your own fear in parenting is absolutely a must. Okay. And to understand, is it out of fear that I'm telling them not to do? Okay. And that is why was this saying which said that it takes a village to raise a child. There's this saying that used people would say. What it means is your fear is negated by another parents or another family member's fear. Let's say, for example, you say that, hey, don't climb the tree because you're scared. Maybe you had fallen as a child or something. And another, maybe a brother, sister, in-law, somebody will say, hey, nothing will happen. Let her or him climb the tree, right? Because they don't have that fear. So the child gets balanced out by that other person. That's why when relative comes, they get a little more extra permissions to do a lot of things, and probably it will be upsetting you, but actually it is good for them, And so like that, and maybe there is something which they are scared of, and you are okay with it, not a big deal. Let them do, right? So that's how they become more rounded when they're in that kind of. But today, that's the reality is we live in nuclear families, single families, so it's even more challenging. Our fears just get passed on to children. There is no wall. Everything what we have just gets passed on. The only way is becoming mindful and stopping ourselves. Is my fear coming? Okay. So this is one uncomfortable truth that we all need to take up as parents. Only then can we free ourselves. Otherwise, we will be stuck in this loop. The second uncomfortable truth is the need to be constantly liked by our children, right? So we do a lot of things in parenting with the simple things of just so that they like us, just so that they are off, they don't bother us, or so they don't not like us when they are grown ups, or even today if they don't like. So become aware how much of your parenting is with the need to be liked. Are you doing something which is good for them in the future, not just today, but good for them in the future? Waking up, are they waking up, especially like teenagers? Somebody had asked a question, can they wake up by themselves? If they're 15 plus, they should be waking up for school and colleges by themselves. Because if we don't do, that's what I call changing the gear. You need to change gear of parenting. Maybe you have done it for younger kids, but for teenagers now, they need to wake up by themselves. And I'm sure one of the questions will be, but what if they miss school or college? Yes, they will miss 1 or 2 days, then they will get sorted for good, and they will start attending. And even to your school teacher, tell them the truth. They woke up late, that's why they didn't attend. And you'll see after 2 days of missing school, they will start going on time. Of course, give them an alarm clock or something like that, and give them a warning shot also. Don't give them a surprise that you've been waking them up and suddenly next day you don't wake them up. Tell them, guys, I won't be waking you up from tomorrow. you are supposed to wake up. There could be exception days when they're super tired, there's been a family function, or there has been some event which was late and you have to stay up late. Those are exception days. Next day you can wake them up. But 90% of the time, for 15-plus-year-olds, they should be waking up. So where does the resistance comes? The resistance of faster, faster, faster. We think that school is everything. If they miss 2 days, is the end of the world. You have to let go of that fear. It's not the end of the world. You are now sorting them out for the next 20 years, wherever, whichever career they are, they know they will be there on time, whichever college they are, even if they're not with you and they're studying in some, boarding school, college, they'll be sorted, right? So becoming aware of this. So this is a little bit of a detour I went, giving that teenager example because I think Genesia was asking on that. Yeah. The third uncomfortable truth, which I already spoken in some bits, was we're not prepared. We don't know what to do, right? And sometimes it can add so much of stress that instead of living our own life as parents, we are also individuals. We have our own life. We want to do something in life. We want to become something. But more than 50-60% of time goes into handling the stress of parenting, just like Abba was. The reason I shared was just to connect these dots. How she wanted to be excellent and do something, but stressed with parenting. Once sorted it out, she went on to be a superstar in her company and excelling there, right? So what I'm trying to tell is for you to live your own life to your full potential, you need to do the right things. Somebody needs to show you the torchlight and show you the way, and that's all. And then you will be going down that and having a stress-free parenting for yourself. Okay, there will be problems, but it will be something that you can manage most of the time. So these three uncomfortable truths, right? The neurotic or fear-based parenting, to be constantly liked by your children, or we have not been prepared for parenting. Type yes if one or more is applicable for you. Type yes if one of these truths are valid or you agree with it. If you think fear-based parenting has come in the way, then you can say, or to be liked by your children. If you think that this has come in the way, and then you can type yes. Just to know where you are, because unless we know where we are, we cannot change ourselves, right? That's the first rule of change, that we need to know that, yes, you know what, I want this to be. It's a humbling experience, really. It is, it has humbled me many times that, this is what I'm doing, right? And then that's when we are ready for change. Thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you, Janesia. Thank you, Shanti. Thank you, Atul. Thank you, Sunita. Because it takes courage to accept. Only then can change happen. The three new truths is to replace our emotional parenting with what is known as the 3I, independent parenting. So you're independent of what? Independent of your fears. Intuitive parenting. Okay? Intuitive, so that you can guide your children better. And third is intelligent, knowing what to do or not to do. Like how I'm giving you a little bit of, tips and tricks for the waking up and things like that, to know what to do. Then it's like, okay, you've got the things sorted. Today's challenges are not the same as probably 20 years down. So we need to know what to do for those kind of things. So independent, intuitive, and intelligent. That should be our goal, and how to achieving these kinds of things. This is another sharing of a parent, and this was about someone who joined me to become an elite athlete. She wanted to join and play for a club. She was not getting through. Her confidence was low. She was a 16-year-old girl. and uh, and then I helped her with that. She was having a lot of low confidence, school issues, and things like that. So over a period of 2 3 months, we worked with her parents. Usually for teenagers, I always work with parents and the child. No, I don't work only with children because I say it cannot work. The parents have to also change with the child, because just like the three uncomfortable truths I said, I tell parents what they should do, not do, so that they are also changing. No point changing only the the person, the child, right? So, and for younger children than 15, I only mentor the parents. I say, I don't need to mentor, you are a better mentor than me. I all need to tell you is teach you how to do that, and you're sorted for that, right? For younger than 15 years. So I teach the parents or mentor the parents, and they do in my, instead of me doing it, mentoring them, they are doing it for the child. So this is an amazing thing, and she got through the club and she was smiling. When she joined me, she was not hardly smiling at all. She would just speak and this. At the end of the 3 months, she had that bright smile, and she had got through the club, which was a tough one. And the parents were really literally in tears because they couldn't believe that that much change could happen, what they had not seen. And she was someone, not only we worked on the tournament and clubs and all that, I also helped her get her confidence back in reading. This is another girl, okay, by the way. And she had, her father called me and said she has read in the last weekend when he had called me a book, whatever, 200, 300 page book, which is equal to all the reading she has done in the last 5 years. Okay, so that much she had read, and in the 5 years, and in one weekend, she had got the confidence to read a whole novel or something like that. So that's what can happen, when parents and child work together. You're in line, in sync, in line, because you know what to do when. And one of my favorite things is to keep coming back to this farming and gardening, and something that I have learned in my second career is that farming and gardening, just like you don't put uh, the compost anytime you want. There is a time for it. You don't put water whenever you have a time for it. Everything has got a time. So parenting is like that. When you do the right thing at the right time, you hit a six, right? Like it's like cricket also. You could swing your bat whenever, but when you swing the bat when the ball touches, it's a six. So that's what the parenting is to know the timing of things. So parenting approach, and that's what I'm going to be talking about a little bit. And what we are doing, is instant parenting, right? Instant parenting. Something happens. Example for a younger kids, I'm talking. A toy is broken. Today, go to Amazon, immediately order a new one. Why? Because easy and fast. We have the disposable income little bit, and we want to buy it for a child. But what it is doing is it is also adding a lack of reverence for things. It is not allowing the child to miss something, not allowing to develop a connection with any object. Same thing for pets. I've seen there was a parent who wanted to replace a pet which had died recently because they were so attached, and said, okay, next tomorrow only I'm getting another pet. I said, hold on to it. Don't be, let it mourn, let the child go through that emotion. It's not a bad emotion, it's a real emotion. Let them go through and build that capacity, because one of the educations we have to give is educating the child through different emotions. And when should you do that? And that is where parenting comes. There is different education at different parts of life. So we have to overcome instant parenting, because we have to ask ourselves, is it because we want to be liked, one of the uncomfortable truths, or is it because of parenting, because of fear? What is it that we are doing this instant parenting? Okay, what is good for the child? The delayed parenting, the alarm, the waking up alarm example I gave you. Yes, instant parenting is I can come and wake you up every day so you go to school and college, or I can give you the alarm and take a chance that 2 3 times you're going to miss school or the school bus because you didn't wake up. And but I'm helping you become better for the long run. That is the delayed parenting or the 20-year parenting, what you should be doing. So the consequences, sometimes we also try to tell something is good in the early years, and then later the same thing becomes a bad habit. We are saying, we are like, oh, so cute, the child is doing like, the child is doing like that, and the same thing becomes a bad habit a few years down the line, right? So becoming aware is very important. Are we delaying style of parenting, or are we in an instant parenting? There's a little poetry which always adds a lot of clarity. Anytime I see this poetry, it always brings a little thing. Let me read that for you. Your children are not your children. They are sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you, for life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, he also loves the bow that is stable. This is from Khalil Gibran's poetry, an amazing poet who talks very beautifully about children and parents. And I couldn't have captured this entire essence. He is beautifully captured. So this is the kind of spiritual connect we all have with our children. We are just there to boost them like a rocket, or the archer and the arrow. Another thing that I talk about, yes, of course, people tell, parenting is spiritual, and I also agree with that kind of a spiritual journey. But what I'm trying to say here is, every child comes into our life. They say the parents don't choose the child chooses the parent. You know, how awesome is that? The child chooses where he or she wants to be born. That's the spiritual journey. I mean, they come into your life because they have chosen you. And sometimes the child can be difficult, sometimes the child can be easy. And each of the child helps you grow as an individual. As much as you are one of the child's best mentors, the child is one of your best life coaches you'll ever get. Why? Because they help you grow. The very things that irritate you, the very things that kind of you want them to overcome, are the very things that you must work on yourself. Is it ringing a bell? Is it making sense? The child, we get irritated when we are irritated about something. It's usually that we are irritated about it in ourselves, because the child are nothing but a reflection of ourselves. They carry our patterns, they carry our behavior, they carry things that we ourselves don't like in ourselves. They reflect back with, they amplify that. And that's why we get irritated with them. Why are they like this? Why are they not doing that? The moment we grow, they grow. So this is the spiritual connect, why children are sometimes needed, so we can grow ourselves as human beings. So we can go to our next level. Do you agree that you have grown yourself, whatever may be your child's years, age, that you have grown yourself in parenting? Had you not had a child, you would have been a different person. Do you agree with that? Yes, 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 yes. Superb. No, that's the spiritual journey that I like to convey about. Let me come to a very interesting with that spiritual journey, so I can talk about what is known as in different spiritual masters have spoken about the 7-year phases, and one of them being Rudolf Steiner. And here the spiritual wisdom is every 7 years there is a phase in the child's life. Okay, the first, or it's called also the wombs, different wombs or different layers that covers or different koshas or garbhas or womb in whatever way it is called. So when the mother is bearing the child, comes out into the living world. That's the first one, very obvious, very clear. Everybody knows what to do. There are a lot of books written, literature written, what the mother should take care, how the environment should be, what she should eat, and all those kinds of things are there. So it's kind of, we have a decent confidence. Today people are confident on what they should do, from the conception to the birth. The next phase is the next 7 years of life, birth to 7 years. Here, maybe for the first 2 years, maybe three, parents have some idea of what to do. To feed the child, get this vaccine, get that, get this, go to the doctor, visit, take care, get all sorts of things to some extent. But after that, the kind of confidence and knowledge starts to go down. Parents in general are not aware what to do, right? What should I do in the parenting? Just like I nurtured the healthy child, what should I now nurture in the birth to 7 years? What kind of things that I should nurture? Then from the 7th year to the 14th year, what should I nurture? What should I build in the child? How should I parent the child in that phase? And similarly, in the 14 to 21 years, what should I parent? How should I parent my child there? Right? Each phase is different. Each parenting style is different. At each thing, you will have to focus on different elements. So once you can do this, you will start seeing your parenting becoming that much more easier when you know exactly what steps you need to take. Okay. This is the 7-year phases. Why the 7 years must be your next question. Why not something else? Right? So let me change my slide. Okay. So pre-birth, as you know, is kind of well understood. The child is in the womb, growing there, nurturing, the mother is taking care of, the family is taking care, and as a birth, right? So from birth to the 7 years, ideally, is around the 7th year. It's also been shown that the complete blood cells in our body also replace every 7 years, 6 to 7 years, right? And the first fall of teeth also happens around the 7th year. Okay. And this next thing, from the fall of teeth to puberty, takes another 7 years of journey, right? For the child to mature and grow. So each is like a bubble. We're living in a bubble, growing out and coming out. If you go to the previous one, it's like a bubble. Child comes out of that green, breaks in, but it's still not out into the world. There is another womb, the yellow color. I've just put a yellow color there, yellow womb, where the child is inside that womb, not ready for the outside world, still growing different kind of nourishment. Then that breaks with the fall of the first teeth. And then the child is in that womb, come out of that womb. Now in the third womb, the pink color womb. And then finally in the purple color womb. And before it breaks free as a full adult. So the second thing is the fall of teeth to puberty, which should generally happen around the 14th year. And then from puberty to the wisdom teeth, which generally happens around the 21st year. So this is the phase of a human being, and if we know how to parent at each phase, the parenting becomes very easy, simple, stress-free, right? What we should not do is Just like a birth, the mother carries for the 9 months. We are not in any hurry to have at 6th month, 5th month. Why? We are not in the faster. We want the child to grow healthy in the mother's womb and come out when the time is due. At the same time, we don't want the baby to stay beyond 9 months. The doctors would get worried, something is, we better have it around 9 months. So similarly, like that, each of these wombs or each of these spiritual coverings, you could say, ideally should happen at that phase. But we as parents today are in a hurry to make everything faster for the child. And in that process, what is happening? Just like the mango tree, we are artificially ripening everything and artificially trying to speeden up this whole journey of childhood, into adulthood. So this is the awareness that we need to know that, hey, this is the thing. They are not, each phase has got this, and we need to empower and ourselves and know what we should do for the next 7 years, right? Some of you may be in the pre-birth to birth stage parents, some of you from birth to fall of teeth parents, or fall of teeth to puberty, puberty to wisdom teeth parents, So each phase has got a different style of parenting, different shift you need to do to your parenting. Suppose the question is, what if I didn't do the right thing in the previous stage? Can happen. Then you just have to do a little more extra work and things that I will share in the 2-day workshop. So this is to give you a background. Do you have any questions so far? Do you want to ask me anything at this stage before we move on? Just to recap where we started and where we are. You can type your question away. I will take it as it comes. Meanwhile, I'm going to share this with another teen parent.
Friends, my name is Dushin Patel. I am a chartered accountant by profession, and I am having two sons. Elder one is 15 years old. His name is Dev, and younger one is 9 years old. His name is Taran. Here I want to share my experience with Preetham sir and the insights about parenting I got from him. So I had a chance to have a one-on-one meeting with Preetham sir, and truly the insights he gave to me, those was really amazing and really effective in terms of parenting. And I am amazed by the deep knowledge he got, the deep techniques, the effective techniques he has with the parenting. So really he is having a good in-depth knowledge of parenting techniques, and along with that he also knows what child or kids need to do in different age groups and what the activities they need to perform in order to have a better development, holistic development. So those techniques, those habits, what he shared with me are really and truly very useful. I found it very useful. I started using them, and I am getting the results right now. So definitely I thank you, Preetham sir, for that, and definitely your advice and guidance is much of help to me. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Friends.
So this was about Dushyant, who had approached for his two teen children, two sons. And just like I sharing with you, I shared him that image of different phases and what he needs to do for different. They were both in different phases. One was, I think, 12 years old, and one was some 16 years old, if I remember right. And so he had to do different things. And he was surprised that he had to do differently, and how he had to answer one child and what, and different things that I shared with him in these 2 days. So what I like to share again is this mission of mine to help people reach that full potential. And I think it's possible that they can reach. All we have to do is just make sure that they are guided well, and parents are the best mentors for the child. No, nobody better than that. And all I realized is if I can empower the parent themselves, then it is that much better for parents to take charge of their life, take control, not only be stress free as a parent, but really to make your child a legend in whatever they're doing. When I'm saying legend, not in a competitive sense, just like I told you about the mango tree, I'm not here to tell you to artificially ripen and make them, burn out, but to naturally ripen and give their best, become whoever they were meant to stand out from the crowd, whoever they were meant to be, to help them become that. So this is a definition of a legend, exceptional skill, influence. And for that, we need to make sure our children build discipline, they build that confidence, build that leadership clarity, and then they can go on. Doesn't matter what field they go. It could be simplest of simple, and they will become a legend. I knew this one boy who is a teenager, and he had wrapped a book for me, as a gift. I wanted to give it to somebody, and and it was good, but he was not happy with it. He was not happy with it, and he said, "No, no, just wait, Preetham uncle." And he said, and he removed that, and he did it again, and it was so beautiful to see him work. It was like a piece of art. He was engrossed in it. At that time, I was not having my organization. I was still not running any of this. And I was like, if I had a company and you were there, I would probably hire you without a second thought. You didn't have to know anything. I will teach you, but that attitude was brilliant. That was a fantastic. Today he's in the US. He's settled there. But what I want to tell is that's a fantastic attitude to keep. That is what makes them a legend, to become a master of yourself. So this is what we need to bring children, to my mission. I'm just sharing my mission here. I hope it's okay that to reach this 1,000 legends, I need to touch so many people's lives, because to create the 1,000 legends, we need to create so many heroes down there. And that's why I'm conducting these webinars, workshops. So hoping that someday in the organization journey, we hit that 1,000 legends. We may not know immediately, but I'm hoping that someday we hit that. I was very inspired by Rabindranath Tagore Shantiniketan, which was an inspiration for me, that how it created so many legends. And seeing his educational style, which I've taken few things from different mentors like that, and hoping that it will all inspire to create our own modern 1,000 legends. So this is also a roadmap. I'm just taking a little privilege of sharing this, that right now we are in this parenting webinar, more like giving you some sort of a first aid parenting, quick fix solution. If you have a problem at this stage, you can put a question, drop me a question in the chat box. But what I would like to invite you is the parenting workshop, which for most of you will be a game changer, more soulful parenting, preventive parenting, like the phases that I shared. We'll be going in depth in each phase. If things have worked out good, if not, what can you do if you missed, and what things you should change for yourselves, including discipline issue, confidence issue, simple best practices of parenting, right, for different age groups. So generally, it's catering to 5+ years, but all the parents are welcome. And of course, there are more other programs for those who are interested, hard challenges which are difficult. But for most people, the 2-day workshop should be good enough. So this is also another program where I'm helping create a lot of parenting coaches. If you are someone who's interested in being part of our journey as a parenting coach in the future, then any case you have to do the parenting workshop. So that's a 2-day workshop which is coming up soon. So this is just to give you an insight that if you are someone who likes to turn passion to profession and want to be a legend maker coach, then you can stay with us in this journey and be part of our mission as well. So I have a last phase which I will be sharing how to help your child become confident. But I want to talk a little bit about the parenting workshop, should you be interested, and which can be a game changer for yourself. In this 2-day workshop, which is on 9th and 10th of December. It is from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., right? And things that I will be covering is breaking patterns and conditioning, what we just did a little bit. We will be going in depth. There will be a workbook which you'll be filling out and working together. It's a workshop, so you'll have to work there. It's not going to be a master class like this. I'm just talking away, but you're going to be doing a lot of work. So you can actually take away some sort of a practical guidebook for yourself, for your own child, right? And the second thing is understanding your child's need from different phases, what the child's need is for their own growth and development. And the third thing is to lower stress for your child and yourself, getting those practical uh, issues addressed. What should I do? This is happening. Get those things out of the way. And when you're sitting in a group, different people's problems will also solve yours in some ways. And the third thing is building a better bond and relationship, like Abba, Reva, Vish, others have been sharing through that, and learning best parenting practices. And of course, Q&A, ask your questions away, make notes of as many questions as you can. And when you come for the workshop, I can help you as much as whatever I've gained in these last many, many years. Okay. So this is on day one. Is the workshop in November? It's in December, 9th and 10th of December. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. Day two is how to communicate effectively with your children. I've seen some amazing changes with the listening skill, with the communication skills that I teach parents. And they will not only be learning in these 2 days, but I will also be giving you 4 weeks of support. It's not just that I'm teaching and then going away. I am here. I'm so confident of these techniques that I will be there with you for 4 weeks after the workshop as well. So you can actually implement, come back. No, it's working. This, what should I do? I'll be okay. Change this little bit, change that little bit. And I'll be there with you for those 4 weeks. So that's the kind of support I want to give you, because only then can you become the legend maker, right? Emotional intelligence, creativity, tantrums to teenage challenges, which is there, and how to handle them, and gadget best practices, which is probably a demon today, which we all need to tackle, and how to do it for yourself and how to do it for your children. Both are needed, right? And Q&As on different topics. So these would what be covered in the 2 days, 9th and 10th. I hope you all are free on that day, or at least make sure to take time out for those 2 days, dedicated 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. But I would say keep another hour and a half, 8:30 on those days, just in case we exceed our times. So what will be the takeaway? The parenting frameworks that I will be sharing, the workbooks to reinvent yourself as a parent, 4 weeks of implementation support. That's the game changer, a big one, right? So learning and implementing, two things you're going to get. And of course, the webinar, workshop recordings, and weekly Q&A for those 4 weeks. You're going to be part of a WhatsApp group, and you're going to ask your questions. I'll be sharing there also, but on a weekly once, more actively and engagingly, we will be talking about these things. What will not be covered, just to be clear, special needs children. Although I have observed that even if they are special needs children, ADHDs, or any other more intense ones, you will still find the things that I'm going to share will reduce the stress for yourself and your child. I'm not guaranteeing any 100% results change, but you will definitely see so. But join with a caution. Okay, but I know that it is going to change. Certainly, I won't be covering which syllabus or board your child should join. Rather, I will be telling you how you should empower your child and yourself to decide whether it's career choices. And I will be probably teaching a few basic things on study and exam, but that will not be the focus of this workshop. And this is for parents of 5+ years, children with 5+ years, but other parents are welcome, though you're a little early, but you can be well warned and well prepared as well. Okay, so it's a call that you can take. Is there any other questions about the workshop other than the price? The date, time, what we will cover, not cover, what is it for, who's it for? This is for parents 5+ years, and children ages 5+ years, aspiring parenting coaches, teachers. If you would like to, get a little more insights from a different perspective, the spiritual perspective and practical wisdom, as I call it, classroom management and things like that. Though we won't be covering, that's not the thing, but few things I can share about this. The value of this is 75,000. Okay, I'm not going to be charging you on that. What I bring is 12 years of practical wisdom, 2 days of intensive workshop to reinvent your parenting approach. When I say 12 years of practical wisdom, the story that I shared, all that in a very practical, use it kind of a thing. It's not going to be abstract, in the air kind of talk. It's going to be really, let's get our sleeves rolling, hands rolling up, and let's get to work kind of workshop, where you're going to get some practical insights, parenting best practices that I share with my premium clients. Just to give you an idea of the value, if you engage me on a one-to-one today, you will be spending nothing less than 1.5 lakhs, nothing less. It can go up to 4-5 lakhs. So those best practices that I give to such premium clients, you're going to get in this 2-day workshop. You don't have to pay all that, but you're going to get that kind of value. The second thing is a Q&A for your day-to-day challenges and stress reduction for your child and you. Okay, according to me, it's priceless, because what can you put for your stress, your health, each one's thing. But I believe that when our health and our stress is less, so much more we can do with our life, right? Just like the Abba story, the moment she reduced the stress, she was able to shine in her work. Okay, maybe you're working, not working, or doing something else, does not matter, but it just helps you bloom and grow types. So today's offer is at 14,950. This is what we offer our clients, offer people who reach out to us and engage with us, right? 14,000. So probably less than some of the trips, less than a school fee, but something that will prepare you for many, many years to come. Very small investment, because if I have to reach that people who can become legend makers, I know I have to reach a lot of parents, and only then I can fulfill my mission of this 1,000 legends. So that's why I'm keeping it less. You have to add another zero if you are joining me in the one-to-one mentoring, but I don't want you spending that much unless it's really required for you. Okay, if it's really a big challenge and a lot of difficulty, then I accept one-to-one. Otherwise, I rather share most of my wisdom through this 2-day workshop. But I'm going to make it even more sweeter deal, even more better for you. It's not even going to be 14,950 as a webinar special. As a webinar special, I'm going to give it to you for 9,950. Plus, there is a small gateway charge of 200 rupees, but the fee is 9,950. Okay, this is for the 9th and 10th of December. I'm going to share the payment link. And if you have any questions, I'm going to. So this is a webinar special 9,950 for 9th and 10th. The payment link is a Razorpay link, which you can use. Meanwhile, you can also ask your questions, either the workshop or something on parenting. I have one more small thing to share with you on parenting before we wrap up this, but I want you all to take up this. And for the first 3 people, I'm going to make it super special. You will get one-to-one 40-minute mentoring with me in the next week or 10 days. My team will call and schedule it with you. So I can give you very practical, even before the workshop starts, get going, get started, start seeing the changes even before you come to the workshop. What is probably worth 75,000, or what is worth, few thousands for that session, you're going to get it absolutely free, because my time is limited. I can't do so many one-to-ones these days. So if you like to grab this offer, then I'd like to personally welcome you into the 2-day workshop, which is starting on 9th and 10th. And let me know if you complete the payment. This will be like a game changer. It will save you a lot of money down, when you spend on so many unnecessary things which you could have done yourself and improved your child's life or reduced stress for yourself and all those things. If you have any questions, you could ask me at this point. There is also some bonuses that I will share with you all. So these bonuses, again, are to help you, because as parents, we need to take care of ourselves as well, right? It's not just about the child. We need to make sure we are best to help the child become their best. So I've also created a 4-week personal mastery. It's where during that 4 weeks of session, I will also be helping you with the personal mastery, which is anti-procrastination, which is one of my core specialties and strengths. The other thing is how to sleep better, your sleep mastery course, which is going to be a recorded come live. The third thing is how to habit mastery, your own fitness. And third thing is digital detox or gadget de-addiction, how to do it. So 4 weeks of personal mastery support. The other bonus that you're going to get is a 12 weeks personal mastery for kids to build their discipline, confidence, and leadership. It's a recorded course, but once you do the personal mastery, you'll be able to easily do the 12-week personal mastery with your kids. So all the instructions, how to do it, I will be sharing that with you during the workshop itself. And third one, not the least, but 3 culprits, laziness, fear, and doubt. It's a book that I had written on how to overcome this, which parents and children can use and see some changes for themselves. It's an ebook which I will be sharing as well. So this is the webinar bonus. I hope the price doesn't stop you. I've kept it at as value for money, if not 10x value for what you want to get. The only thing should be maybe the dates. Can you accommodate the dates? Can you change some plans? If it's not too, things that can't be done, then that's what you should be doing. The other thing being, if you're signing up in the webinar itself, and I can welcome you, you will get a 40 minutes one-to-one mentoring. It's only for the, let's say, the top 2 people. I will be giving this mentoring, free mentoring for thing. Superb. Abba, great to hear you. Fantastic for that. The other thing being how to build confidence in your child, right? And 3 things to build confidence: discipline, confidence, and clarity. And if you can do that, then you'll start seeing the changes for yourself. The other being the pre-birth, which I shared about. I just want to recap so we understand this: the pre-birth womb, the birth to 7 years, 14 to 21, 7 to 14 years. So you can start seeing the changes for yourself. And again, just to recap, these are the two Legend Makers program, pre-birth to womb, birth to fall of teeth to puberty, puberty to wisdom teeth. And the two freedom framework, which I keep talking about, is the freedom of choice and freedom from choice. This is something very applicable. If we can do this with our children, this freedom of choice and freedom from choice, you'll start seeing that you're able to give the right kind of guidance for your children. And you'll be able to navigate them and help them achieve their goals that much more easily because they are free of the burden of choice. There's another success story that I would like to share with you. This is of Nisha.
This is Vipin, and this has been an amazing experience. And I think Captain Preetham has always been there for us whenever we needed help, and somebody whom we look up to in terms of suggestions and guidance regarding our son. And it's somebody whom our son also looks up to and takes his advices seriously, and we could learn quite a lot of tips and processes which actually start to show good results as we progress. So some things very simple to implement, but it brings out things and results that we are very happy to acknowledge, and very approachable. I think we have gone ahead and discussed with him things far beyond the program that we signed up for. So it's been very, very, very satisfying for us. And thank you, Captain Preetham. I think that was very, very helpful from our aspects. And I think this is an ongoing journey, and we hope to trouble you more and more. That's all I had from my side.
Yeah.
But this is Vipin.
That was about Vipin and Nisha, who have a teenage son who I helped build that confidence for himself. And there have been many parents like this who have seen the success for themselves and their children. And I hope you too take the decision to join the 2-day workshop, which I'd like to invite you for, and start seeing the changes for yourself. So I hope you take time out, and I will see you there in the 2-day workshop. Have a wonderful day.